They came here to see you, talk to you. How you guys doing?
We are fine.
Great.
I was talking to them, not you. It's all right. You guys doing well?
Yeah.
All is well. Whoa.
Good.
Okay, we're alive here.
Yes,
Yeah.
hot mics, yeah.
Hot mics, and we actually have these little
Yeah, you
feedback
got-
mics.
You guys wouldn't know who is who, right?
We get confused all
Yeah.
the time.
Yeah.
We're confused.
So, Kyle, how you doing?
Yeah, they come up and said, I love you in Dragon Ball.
I'm like, thanks.
I'm like, I love working on Avatar.
Well, thank you for being at our show. We really appreciate you guys being here. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, for sure.
Glad you guys could make it back to Sacramento.
Yes, happy to be here.
Yeah, good old exotic Sacramento, right?
It's always a good text or an email to get going. SacAnime wants you. I'm like, yes.
Love it.
That's good.
Let's start 2024 with a bang.
There you
right
go.
from the get-go. Let's.
Right on. So keeping you busy downstairs, signing autographs, kissing hands, shaking babies?
Yeah. Actually, someone asked me yesterday if I wanted to hold their baby, and I was like, oh, gosh, I feel nervous now. It feels like pressure, but... And then the baby started crying. I'm like, that's why I feel bad, but we're good. We're good.
Right on. Well, cool. So, as everybody knows, right, Jenny Quan, the voice of Chun-Li,
Yes.
and Kyle Hbert, the voice of Ryu.
Yes.
Oh, right on. So what have you guys been up to lately? I just kind of break the ice here.
Sure.
Anything fun going on?
Kyle
Anything-
just directed me in something I'm working on, so that's always fun. But yeah, continuing to, well, let's see, where did we end off? My goodness, I'm working on a couple projects still that are ongoing. One of them I can talk about is I do a couple voices on a Disney Junior show called Super Kitties, so that's continuing on. And then like some other things that voice actors are not supposed to talk about. So it's been good, yeah.
Get that NDA beforehand.
Get the NDA for sure.
Yeah, voice actors are always in Fight Club. We do not talk about Fight Club until it comes out. But yeah, I can talk about this. We recorded it last month, the 2 Gurren Lagann movies. And it's a Fathom Events in theaters, so check your local listings. Yeah, exactly. One night only for the Japanese one and one night only for the English dub. So read the fine print just in case. But most of the cast, including Yuri and myself, are back in our roles. Yes. This show has meant so much to the fans ever since 2008 when it first came out, in 2009 when we started dubbing it. And it came out and it did so well. And then the movies were already done, but they couldn't find a venue for them to show it on TV. And so it just kind of sat in the back burner for a while. And then suddenly, at the end of 2023, this like, we're going to dub the movies. Like, sweet. And I ask, it's like, so is it going to streaming or something? And they're like, oh, one better. It's good to go to theaters for like a one-night Fathom event. Because the Fathom event things with anime are really successful because you guys show up and sell the screenings out that they have to create more screenings.
It's good.
It's an awesome, awesome thing. So I'm very, very proud to return as Kamina on that. And hopefully, if you guys haven't seen the show, here's a more consolidated version to see that. So there's 2 movies. So check it out. It's basically a consolidated version of the 26-episode series.
Whoa. So you're talking like a 15-year-old movie, right? You said 2008?
Yeah, basically.
Wow.
The animation is just kind of recycled, honestly. But they reanimated and stretched some things out, and we had to kind of tweak and adapt some of the lines. Not the iconic ones, but again, it's such a rare opportunity. Once we dub a show, it's out there. But then we've gotten to just revisit that. And we're all more seasoned actors now, because that was 2009. Here we are in 23 at the time. And it was like, wow, we get to come back and do all that. So you had our original director, dub director, Tony Oliver, and we also have Michelle Ruff, who's Yoko,
Wow.
who's directing the second movie. So super stoked to see that final version in a packed theater with the fans. That's just the best way to do it.
What is it like stepping that far back, going back to a character that you voiced that long ago?
Well, we did it with Dragon Ball Z Kai as well. So this is my second time getting to read it. We rarely get to do that because, you know, sometimes the actors will give a performance and we think, oh, that's not that good. And the director goes, great, moving on. I'm like, oh, okay. Every actor can relate to that. It's like, it's not our job to direct, so we're not there. We're there to please the director. And if they want something that they deem that way, and we're going, well, that's kind of over the top or flat or whatever, it's like everyone has an opinion. It's all subjective. So, but when you're working with industry legends like Tony Oliver and people who've been doing it for so long, like Michelle Ruff, and like Jenny was saying, now I direct too. So this is like we're stepping up our game now. We're getting to do new types of projects and do all that. So it's just like riding a bike. You never forget. You get to just come back to it, whether you're revisiting it 15 years later or if you come back 3 months later. You record on your characters on a show or a game, and then they just play you a little reference,
Yeah.
and you slip right back into it.
That's cool.
It's comfortable.
Right on. That's good to hear. Well, there you go. You got a Gurren Lagann movies finally coming out in English. Fail Up Events. Check your local listings again. Pimping it just like you did. I can do that too. So cool. We have some people that have some questions. You guys
Sure.
cool with answering questions?
Let's do it.
Right on. We got the first gentleman. Come on up.
Hello there.
Hi.
Hello.
So, this is for each of you. How do you get into your Street Fighter characters?
Jenny.
Wow. Let's jump into it. Well, it's very interesting. I don't think a lot of people know this, but I talk about it now. But before Street Fighter even came out with Street Fighter 2, I don't know how you would call it. I just call it like the working voice for it. I remember going to this studio in LA, and they're like, we're working on this new game, Jenny, and I got hired. I think I was like 18 or 19 at the time. And it ended up being Chun-Li. And so then when I auditioned for Street Fighter 6, I didn't know it was Street Fighter 6. And because they didn't put that on the breakdown, I basically heard the Japanese ref, and then they heard a couple little things that I did, and then we just got into it.
Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. I must have misspoke. I meant, what line or technique do you use to get into your characters before playing the part? That's what I meant.
Playing.
Oh, like warm-ups or?
Oh, warm-ups. You mean physical things?
No, I mean, what, like some actors have a line or technique they use to get into their characters before they play their parts and do their gig. I was wondering, what line or techniques do you have for your characters?
Do you have a specific process?
You know what? The process that I do is I make sure that I just basically warm up my voice with a couple maybe singing techniques or voice techniques to make sure I'm pretty flexible. And probably just like working out your body, right? Same thing as voiceover actors. You want to make sure that you're warm and you can be flexible. So it just depends what I'm doing. Like for Chun-Li, again, it was a process. I didn't get to the harder stuff until the end because they try and save your voice. So yeah, keep it simple.
Yeah, and when you're working on a game, a big AAA game, it takes a year or longer to do this, and we're sitting on that NDA. We can't talk about
Yeah.
it. Trailers drop. We still can't talk about it. People go, "That sounds like you," and I'm like, "No comment. I can't talk about it. Hope they call me."
You're just a ghost for a while.
Basically, yes. But the process, again, is very, very straightforward. They'll play a little sample from your previous session to just get you in the mode. We are when you're dubbing a game from another country or anime, you're basically trusting your director to give you all the context you need because we don't have the scripts ahead of time generally.
Nope.
There's no footage generally to look at, so there's no lip sync or any of that. We are strictly going by the Japanese performance. We only have the audio to go by, and sometimes we do have the restriction of it has to be done within that time, within that length. This line in Japanese is 5.2 seconds. That means ours has to be at least 5.2, maybe within a frame or something.
Like a second.
Yeah. And
People don't know that.
Yeah.
They
no.
don't know that.
Yeah, and it's a very technical thing. We try to get it organically ourselves, but Pro Tools, the program that we record with, the industry standard, they can stretch or compress and make it fit. And if it doesn't sound too robotic or AI-ish, then sometimes they'll kind of That's a little cheat code to use.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
All of a sudden, like Ryu sounds like from Alvin and the Chipmunks.
That's right. He gets eyes in the heart of battle.
Hello.
Hi.
Kyle, I just want to say thank you for voicing Ryu from Streets.
Oh, yeah. So I go
That
over
was the
to
that was-
Luke's place. Alex Lee's lives a street down from me, and he invited me over to come over on his live stream, on his Twitch stream. And he said, can you, here's the script to Streets, you know, the big meme thing. And so I was like, yeah, why not?
But yeah, very, very happy you did that.
Thank you.
Best thing I didn't need. So my question is, what Capcom game did y'all like voicing your characters in the most? Like Street Fighter, Marvel vs. Capcom, Smash Bros, SNK.
Well, some of those, definitely the earlier games didn't have an English track. I don't know if SNK, did it have an English track? I don't remember.
I don't know.
I don't know either. But the process is the same on all the games, regardless of what the title is. So I guess the one that's easiest to remember for me is coming in as Ryu for Super Smash Ultimate. Because that session was 20 minutes long, and I go in, and the people from Nintendo were like geeking out. It's like, oh my gosh, the voice of Ryu! It's like, I almost felt like I was at a con. It was like, oh my gosh, this is a nice ego boost. It's like, thank you for bringing me in. And then that content dropped on my birthday, June 14th of that year. And it's like instantly, damn, I had a 3DS at the time. So download, I get to, oh yeah. So this is Smash. That was pretty awesome. That was pretty neat. I never thought in a million years I'd get to have a character on Smash Bros.
Yeah, that was pretty badass to see Ryu in Smash. I hope to see you back in another Marvel vs. Capcom game, because it's been 10 plus years, unfortunately.
I hope they make some more. You know, that's a great series, and it's really neat to have Capcom and Marvel on the same roster.
Yeah, it's so cool, dude. All right, thanks, y'all.
Thank you.
Hello there.
Hello.
What are your opinions on a possible future Capcom versus SNK 3 being more like the Marvel series rather than the first two?
Wow.
Have you ever played those?
I have not.
I haven't either, so I can't really compare.
Right. But I'm open to if they have us back to do some collaboration there, for sure.
Yeah, the crossover ones are so cool.
Yeah.
And it's a bit strange that we haven't had any fighting games other than SF6 for a while and not even some kind of Switch exclusive.
Yeah.
So I'm starting to suspect that there's going to be a new crossover sometime soon.
Oh, that'd be good.
You know, all Capcom and all the studios, they pay attention to what the fans are posting
That's
on
right.
social media. So if there's something you're really wanting, get all your friends to post and just say, I'm really, really hoping for a crossover like fill in the blank. They'll see that. They may not reply to you, but they see that.
They're paying attention to everything.
They do. They do. And that's, you know, yeah, there's a lot of downsides to social media, but that's an upside. Getting the real-time pulse of what the people are thinking, what the fans are thinking, so the studios can react to that and give you the content that you're looking for.
Indeed so.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hey, thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Appreciate the support. Thanks for
Bye.
coming.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey.
Hi, good.
I have a question regarding the upcoming cast of characters in Street Fighter 6. Would you be able to make a hint as to who might be on Street Fighter, like the upcoming season after season 1?
Not without getting fired.
That's right. I mean, I went to go record something, and they were like, now, you know this is not coming out until this time. I'm like, okay, I'm probably going to forget when I leave the studio, but awesome. Thank you for reminding me.
Yeah, they actually don't bother telling us a lot of that stuff because, you know, not only are they very secretive about that,
Right.
but it makes it easier on our own. So it's like,
Absolutely.
I don't want to know all this stuff. That way I can look a fan in the eye and not have to, you know, I was like, no, I seriously don't
Budget.
know.
Right, exactly.
I don't know if they're going to bring back, you know, characters from 10 years ago from old titles.
Right, of course.
They might. I mean, that's cool. It's a great nod to what the fans are wanting. But yeah, we do sign non-disclosure agreements that specifically say, you know, they are within their rights to sue us or just blacklist us and never use us again.
Absolutely.
So we would rather work
Makes sense.
And they
Yeah.
will send for like major projects too. I've gotten several emails. I'm like, was this me? Please do not talk about it. We still are not revealing information about such and such. Do not talk about it. Like just blanket things because people leak that stuff.
Yeah, makes sense.
So they don't want it being leaked. They want it to be fresh when it comes out.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, makes sense.
So just hang in there,
Yep.
and the content will drop when it's ready, and Capcom will send it out into the masses.
Of course. Thanks a lot.
Thank
you.
I know what it's like to be just like on the edge of
Yeah.
your seat going, oh, we want it now.
Yeah.
Come on, hurry up.
For sure.
Hey guys,
Hello.
question. So in the last, I guess, 10 to 20 years, how do you feel like the voice acting process has changed compared to when you first entered the industry? Because I've been a big fan of yours, Kyle, since the early like Dragon Ball days. So I'm just kind of curious to know like how things have changed, since you've had this career and had like could kind of explained how the process is for like doing voice sessions now. So how have you kind of seen it evolve over time?
Do you want to start? Oh, so for me, I started, actually my first job, I started kind of simultaneously singing and acting at the same time, but my very first job when I was 11 was a voiceover job. And somewhat similarly to on-camera auditions, when you would do voice auditions, it was kind of like you would know the same maybe 5 to 10 people who would always constantly be going out for the same part. Cut to, I would say, I don't even know, when I decided to get back into voice acting more consistently years ago. I don't even know how many years ago it's been since then, but back when I started again, the internet, because of the internet, how it is now, it was just inundated with anybody and everybody. Like, now, I don't even know. Like, it could be just someone walking down the street and they're like, I'm a voice actor too, which happens a lot, right? And I think it's a great thing, and also it's tough at the same time because we have so much at our fingertips, but yet it's kind of like, for me, when we put out auditions, now from home, we do it a lot. Like back in the day, we'd have to drive across town, go to our agent's office, maybe, I don't know how many times a week, but now everything is at home. And when you send it out, it's kind of like into the ether. You don't know where it's gonna go. You don't know if someone hears it, you don't know, right? Until you maybe land a job, or you sometimes will get feedback for certain things, at least in my experience. So it has changed a lot, I think. Again, with some benefits and some without. Like I love recording from home, but then also too, you don't get that instant feedback if you're thinking, oh, they want someone like this, or you have to be very specific and make specific choices. And maybe if it's in the ballpark and someone hears that, great, and at least you used to go to your agent's office and maybe they give you direction, or sometimes still today from offices they'll say, hey, we want you to retry this. So yeah, it's definitely, I think, I've seen a lot of change, but it's also a learning curve. I've learned how to record from home, which is not my favorite. I'm not like a technical person, but I've really learned a lot of things, throughout the years because how things have changed. And through pandemic, did I learn a lot. I mean, I had this kind of just makeshift booth, which was great because people loved the sound, but now I've built up my booth and it's amazing, and just learning as I go. The learning curve is high. So yeah, always changing, staying open to that.
Okay.
Yeah, the pandemic really changed the whole game for a lot of people. A lot of voice actors had to kind of step up not only their recording space, but they had to kind of learn a new skill set because you're engineering from home and you're online connecting with broadcast quality audio to another studio, and you're being directed over Zoom and all this stuff, and you have to hope that your internet doesn't go out and all that, so it's a little more hectic. It's nice not to have to, get dressed and schlep across town and get stuck in traffic. I can, my session's at 10 a.m., I'll roll out of bed at 1:45 till, pants are optional. It's really nice. They don't have to look at me, they just have to hear me. So, yeah, so during the pandemic, there was a lot of time when the studios closed down, but this was one of the few industries that actually thrived. Mm-hmm. A lot of people lost work, and it was very, very depressing and stressful and sad for so many people, but our industry actually did really well. And for those who were able to either upgrade their studio space, or I was already in a walk-in closet. That's my thing. I have some acoustic foam and then closet stuff, and the engineers hear it and they're like, "That's great. You don't need to drop 10 grand on a recording booth. Yours sounds perfect." And I go, "Thank you.
Cool.
Let's save a little money." But other than that, I've seen the uptick in recent years, not just during the pandemic, but diversity casting, chances for all ethnicities and people to have a more equal chance to read for the roles. The roles have always been plentiful, but the opportunities for certain types of folks weren't always there. But now I think social media, another perk to social media is awareness and getting that the message across. So it's really neat to hear people, not only of different ethnic backgrounds, but also different parts of their professional career, whether it's new talent, veteran talent, someone in between. You're getting a good mishmash of people that are working now. That's really, really cool to see. It's a super tight-knit, supportive community.
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thanks.
Next up, come on.
Hi there.
Hello.
Hi. So I wanted to ask if maybe back when you were in like the studio days and stuff like that a little while ago, if you've like met other like voice actors for their roles and like, any like just other cool people in their roles that they've done and stuff like that. Like what other people at the Street Fighter cast have you like known personally and stuff like that? And also just quickly wanted to say great job for both of you for the SF6 voices, especially like SF6 Ryu is my favorite sounding one in a long time. So fantastic job.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. Again, our community is awesome. We work with people, but the thing that a lot of people don't understand is we don't get to record together.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, so I don't think I even met you.
I didn't even know you were doing it until someone told me and I was like, what? I know Kyle. Huh? Oh.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, I know Kyle. Okay.
Yeah, it's like,
I
so
love that.
that's the thing, but we would go in one actor at a time,
Yeah.
record for like a 4-hour session, but we'd have like 12 hours of stuff, so we'd have 3 sessions over the course of a week or 2, come back in, but we'd have to go all the way across town. A lot of us who live in the valley in LA have to go all the way to the other side where the studio was. It's like, oh, can I just do it from home? That's when I really like to be doing it from home, because the traffic towards LAX is really bad.
I do remember, though, I probably shouldn't say this, but we did do like at the beginning of the very top of pandemic, they were, how can I say this? They did a project that they didn't like, and they axed it. And there were some people there. I think someone was stepped in for you, maybe Kyle. And then it was funny, they didn't say this in the room, but they were like, okay, well, some people are gonna come back, but I think some people had, they had already been cast, and so I was lucky enough to be able to come back and redo the game and like move forward with that. So that was one of the times that I thought was really fun, but that was right at the top of the pandemic, and then after that it was like, no one is going to be in the same room to record. Probably, we didn't know if that was ever going to happen again.
Yeah.
So.
And a lot of us will see or sometimes even meet each other for the first time at a con.
Yeah.
We have to go in the green room and actually introduce ourselves, even though there's people that have worked together on many projects through the years and we just never have the opportunity to have a little FaceTime to say, hey, nice job on that project.
It's so fun.
Yeah.
Lucky.
It's cool. It's so weird that even, if you live in the same town, like LA, as huge as that is, people that work on similar projects will have to go all the way across the world sometimes and spend a little time at a convention going, hey, I finally get to meet you. We've worked on so-and-so all these years.
Yeah, I was really surprised when you said before that you live like just like a street away from
Alex, yeah. Voice of Luke.
I'm going to see him next week at another con, and it's like, I haven't seen Alex since we did some ADR work on another project. I'm like, hey, Alex, I met him when he first started out, so it's, and now look at him, So that's always fun.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, Jenny. Hi, Kyle.
Hello.
Hi. So this is my first SacAnime, and it's been really exciting because I
cool.
got to see all the cosplay that's around the area.
Yeah.
So my question to both of you is, you voiced plenty of characters. What are your thoughts and feelings when you see someone that you voiced before?
When we see someone who we voiced before? What
As
do you
in a
mean?
character that you voiced before, whether in a game or anime. Like you see someone cosplaying as that character, yeah.
So a little story. I don't know if anybody saw my Instagram. I was going to cosplay today because I have so much respect for cosplayers. It takes a lot of work. I've done it before for Suki. It took me hours to do the full-on garb. And I was going to cosplay today, and my cosplay came, and I have to make adjustments on it. And I felt so sad because I know when people cosplay, I know like the joy that it brings. I know through talking with so many people how much time it takes. And then, you know, like people get to really be in the spotlight and really share that. And people get excited and like take the time. And so when I see my characters that are, you know, in person live, I'm like, wow. And even characters, I just remembered like, I used to see this character come by, and again, I wasn't allowed to talk about it, and I even forget Keiko in Yu Yu Hakusho, and I voiced her in the live action that just came out. Like, she used to come by my table all the time, and I didn't even know, and now I know because of that, because now I can put the character with people who adore certain characters like that. And I just think it's really fun. So, and it's kind of like a way to, I think, for people to just give like their love and pay back, you know, what we put out. It's kind of symbiotic, you know what I mean? It's a really nice way to just be in community, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I geek out when I see people dressed as characters that I've voiced. Whether they watch it in English or not, I'll be like, hey, nice job on that stuff. And I saw someone dressed as Chun-Li coming waving to you, but they had the Wolverine mask and the claws. So
Before
it's
we
like,
left, right?
That's a cool mashup. The creativity from the fandom side is awesome. It's like, I'm going to mash up these two things that have nothing to do with each other, or create my own original character based in Dragon Ball or Street, you know, or Avatar or Street Fighter and all that. This is my own character. It's like, I love seeing that. It's so great. Plus, the community is not just, you know, the younger fans, but, you know, maybe their parents or relatives.
I love that.
Seeing families come. That's something that's changed through the years. It used to be just mostly the kids. The parents just roll their eyes going, I don't like that anime stuff, and like, I'll have fun. But now they're coming and they're turning the parents and the siblings and the family and the other friends on to Japanese culture. It's like, maybe folks who don't even watch anime love Street Fighter, and then vice versa. So we're able to introduce people to all sorts of things. So yeah, if I see a great Saiyaman or a Ryu or maybe a more obscure character maybe, it's like, yeah, I love that.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hi.
Hi.
I was wondering, do either of you play Smash Bros? If so, who's your main?
On Smash Bros? I'm so terrible at that. I'm a button mash gamer.
What?
So I'm like, I'm terrible. I end up like falling off the platform like all the time. I'm not good with any character. So I kind of just don't play it because, you know, it's not, you can't have fun if you're just bad at the game, right?
I think it's not fun.
I mean, I don't know. Have you played any
I
Smash
have
Brothers?
not. I'm terrible. My coordination skills are
Yeah.
horrific.
But it is nice on Street Fighter 6 you have that new configuration that's a lot more simpler. I like things like that because, yeah, if I happen to do like some sort of combo, that's not skill. That's complete accident. And then I'll be like, I'm trying to spam this move because this worked. And like, yeah, I don't know. Who do you use in Smash Brothers? Who do you like maining as?
I usually use Lucas or Zelda.
Zelda, okay.
Yeah, but yeah, you know, usually those two.
Ah, nice.
Very cool.
Yeah,
Well, thank you.
you.
Thanks so much.
Hello.
Hi.
Do you have a preference for doing voice work in video games versus dubbing over something versus an original animation? Which one affords you the most creative freedom?
Ooh, video games or dubbing?
Or if like Avatar was
or
an original
Avatar.
thing.
I will tell you the difference. If it's a project, say, that is in creation, for me, I feel like it's a lot more, you have a little bit more space, right? So there's space. Sometimes you don't even see the animation until you have to go back and do pickups or ADR or something like that. But you're not tied to something specific that's already in existence, right? But then I've done some dubbing projects, or for example, Chun-Li, where it's like, even though I am going to a specific sort of direction that they want to hear, 9 producers, directors, whatever, listening, giving their input, there is something really fun about being able to put my own little spin on something that's existing. And it's kind of a challenge, again, because it's already existing and so many iterations down the line. But I will say, when it's something new, I feel like there is a little bit of space. So I feel like that's the difference.
I think the most fun I've had is in a cartoon type situation, because you get to be in the same room as all the other actors and you get to play off their performances, and it's just a ball. It's just a blast to be able to watch everyone's process and watch them screw up just as much as you, so you don't get so self-conscious about it and all that. I haven't gotten to do as much of that as I've wanted to. Ever since I was a kid, I want to voice cartoons. Bugs Bunny and Looney Tunes that was my goal, and it still is to do. But I, meanwhile, have made a career of doing dubbing and video game stuff. I can say anime doesn't pay anything anywhere. Games and cartoons can pay way better. And oddly enough, dubbing is the hardest type.
So hard.
Yeah, matching
So
the lip
hard.
sync is hard. But I love getting to see the final animation as I'm recording it. You don't get to do that with games for the most part, and definitely not in animation. Like if we were doing Family Guy or something, that takes months or years even to get animated. We have no idea what it's going to look like until it comes back.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
Hi, I'm back.
You're back.
I'm back. First off, I really like your shirt, Kyle.
Thank you.
I'm a good as a person who likes teas.
Yes, and buttons.
And buttons, yes. I very much vibe with someone who does that. Anyways, so Street Fighter has a whole bunch of characters, and I meet a lot of characters. What is y'all's favorite character in Street Fighter? And don't say your own.
Oh, man.
Don't say my own. No, just kidding. I don't know. I feel like I'm on the spot. Who's my favorite character? Go ahead, Kyle.
Oh my gosh. Well, the one with the big hair and the eyes. No, I don't know.
Oh gosh.
There's so many.
Just thinking quick on my feet. I don't know.
Yeah, that's true. I like some of the old classics, like M. Bison and Blanca.
Blanca's underrated.
He's like punk rock Hulk. I just love the big spiky hair and that. Some of the earlier Street Fighters were actually directed by the voice of Blanca at the time, Taliesin Jaffe, who has now moved on to deeper, greener pastures over with the Critical Role gang. So.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Either three-way tie between DJ, because he's cool.
Okay.
Dudley, because he's the British boxer. He's all polite and all that.
Yeah.
Ken, because I really like all the stuff they do with Six. Where
Is he Ken off though? Had to.
Yeah. Dan Hibiki, a complete, utter useless character. But yeah. Also, before I go, Kyle, I wanted to show you this because
Show me. Show me.
I got Bardock.
Look at that.
It's
That's
a little Bardock.
beautiful. That's
Bardock's
beautiful.
underrated. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming.
Hello.
Hello.
Big fan of the both of you. My question is, who are some voice actors you guys whose work you really like?
Oh, wow. I mean, there's so many fabulous voice actors. I'm sure some of them are at the con today, It's funny, someone asked me this earlier, and she's a friend of mine. I remember the first time I had done, I had done a scene with Gray, who plays Azula on Avatar, and I was like, who is this woman? You know, and I just would sit and she would do her lines. I'm like, she is like a brilliant, her aura, just what came out of her mouth, and I didn't know. Like, I was like, okay, I'm showing up to do this, but later I found out like she just voices all these characters, and now that we get to spend time doing cons together and hang out, like, it's just fun for me to just, you know, hang out and like be chill and not worry about the work. But gosh, I mean, oh my, there's so many. Kyle?
Well, yeah, you were saying some of them are here this week.
Some of them are here. Let's see.
Yuri Lowenthal's an amazing Spider-Man.
Oh,
my
man.
God. John DiMaggio. I get nervous because it's like, but I'm such a huge fan of his version of the Joker from the Batman Under the Red Hood. It's short, but it's so sweet. Amazing. And of course, Bender and Futurama and all these folks. But folks like, you know, Rob Paulson, Maurice LaMarche, Billy West, Gray.
I love
Lyle,
Billy.
Yeah.
And one time I remember I was, I will tell you, so this was just like during pandemic, I had gone to this voiceover session with, it was 4 people. It was Tom Kenny, it was Kari Walgreen, someone else, and me, and I was like, what am I doing here? Like, these are like voiceover legends, and here I am, like literally in the room, like, I hope I can pull this off, because I didn't know them at the time, but I was just like, oh wow, they are creme de la creme, you know? So like Kyle said, like everybody who he's mentioned, it's like amazing, amazing, amazing actors.
Yeah, and they're great people,
Exactly.
too. Again, our community is full of not only great artists, but just genuinely kind, funny, intuitive, just amazing people.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming to SacAnime. My question is, what's your favorite thing about working on Street Fighter?
What's our favorite what?
What's your favorite thing about working on Street Fighter?
Oh, okay. You've been at it longer.
I've been doing it since 2008. So
A long time.
Think just being a part of such a huge, iconic franchise that goes back longer than I've been in the industry, for sure. I remember being a kid back when arcades were a thing and you just pop quarters or tokens in, and I would just button mash even back then. And it's like I couldn't have fathomed that I'd be working, that video games would even have voices, you know, but they did. They had the rough, you know, Hadouken, you know, all that stuff. But I go back, I'm old, so I remember beeps and boops and blips on Atari. And now, you know,
Now I feel old. Thank you.
awful voice acting in games like House of the Dead and all that. And then I like, it's so terrible. But now they hire actors that are great at their craft, and you're getting writers and artists all involved. That we're making basically playable movies at this point. It's so cool. And you know, I've already, you know, I opened my career with Dragon Ball. That's huge in of itself. But getting to say I'm in a huge game franchise like Street Fighter, that feels so amazing. That's a cool thing to just tick off the bucket list, you know? It feels great.
I would say something very similar. You know, truth be told, I'm not a huge gamer, right? But I know who Chun-Li is, and I knew who she was when I was really young. I mean, I'm kind of, you know, I wasn't born yesterday, but I'm still young. But seriously, I know who Chun-Li is, and then just to see the reaction of people giving back has just, like, I get emotional about it. Like, to be a part of that means so much. One of my booking agents was like, Jenny, you're like the 3rd iconic female video game actor. I'm like, what? What are you talking about? And now I know. And to be in that league is, you know, and to represent an Asian American iconic video game woman in the industry is a big deal. And so I don't take that lightly, and I feel very grateful, and I feel grateful to you guys who have made the game still so popular, and it keeps going, and hopefully it'll keep going. Thank you.
Awesome, thank you.
Thanks.
Talk
Cookie
about your-
Monster,
Talk about
Chun-Li.
your matchup, or your matchup.
I
right there.
love this. I need
Beautiful.
you need to come to the table. Wait.
C is for Chun-Li.
Gee.
G is for Chun-Li.
Just really quickly.
Oh, okay.
Okay, you have to pose.
I love this. Thank you.
That's so epic.
I love it. Thank you.
So good.
Hi, it's an honor to meet all of you. I had a quick question. So there's going to be a new DLC character named Yor from Spy X Family, and I was wondering who will win, Chun-Li or Yor?
Chun-Li, the strongest woman in the world. What are you talking about? Yes, Chun-Li, hands down.
It's not even a competition.
It's not a competition.
At all. It's just,
Thank you, Cookie Monster Chun-Li.
it's almost
amazing.
unfair how quickly you would dominate.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Good. How are you?
My question is, what is your guys' favorite project that you guys worked
Oh,
on
gosh.
in the past?
Oh.
And why?
I'm really, those questions I'm terrible at because I'm like, oh, like I should have something scripted, but I don't. And people ask me that all the time. People ask me that all the time. I'm like, they're like my children. Am I going to choose between? But I will say, I have a couple things to offer. Maybe not one. Okay. So Suki, obviously, because she's brought the fandom and who she stands for, what she stands for is to be of service, right? And I think I just said Chun-Li because of what I just said, right? Like just iconic and complete badass. Those two female characters are badass, right? Then I played this character who, in an anime called Scissor 7, she's the character 13, and I love her arc, right? I just love she goes from being kind of non-human to like learning how to become human, and I love her backstory. And I have one more. And not a lot of people, I'm gonna tell a quick crazy story. My best friend was talking about Squid Game, the challenge, and she's like, oh yeah, da-da-da-da-da, like talking all about it. And then our other friend's like, do you know that Jenny is the voice for who just taunts all the contestants? She didn't even know it was me, which I'm like, that's a good thing and a bad thing. You know, a good thing, I should say, a good thing. Because at least I know I'm doing my job, which I loved, torturing the people. And a bad thing, because my best friend didn't even know it was my voice. So those are my favorites. Here we go. Sorry, long stories.
Well, that's cool. Yeah, it's hard to pick just one thing.
I know.
My career started with Dragon Ball, so Gohan will always be special, just for that reason alone.
Yeah.
Getting to be a fan of something first, and then getting to be a part of that, and having that kick off my career, which is what I wanted to do anyway.
Yeah.
That you can't really put that into words. Ryu being on Street Fighter has, being a part of another iconic franchise, this time in the gaming world, and then him having a cameo in Wreck-It Ralph. It's like, dude, I'd take that. My little 10 seconds. I didn't have to be a movie star or some celebrity that just gets, stunt cast on a movie. Rich Moore and the whole team that created Wreck-It Ralph, they said they knew what they were doing, and Jonathan Klein with New Generation Pictures, where we dubbed Street Fighter, he called his contact at Disney and says, I have access to the dub actors for Street Fighter, so he brought the original Ken, Ruben Langdon, and myself in, and that's like 10 minutes from where I live. I go into the Disney studio, and they geeked out. It's like, the voice of Ryu's here. It's like, that's my job to geek out. I'm in Disney. Crazy. Oh my gosh, so cool. And then Kamina and Gurren Lagann, that's meant a lot because I've lost count of how many fans have come up at cons and tell me how that character and that show has inspired them and pulled them back from a dark place in their life. And it feels really good. That's icing on the cake when you say,
Absolutely.
we're actors, we're needy, we need validation. I get that. We need our ego stroked. Yeah. But when they say, not only did you entertain me, you helped me make choices in my life that really changed the game for me. Thank you for what you do. And it's like, that's amazing. I never thought I would get to say that. It's like, so, as cheesy as it sounds, gaming, animation, art in any form is therapy. And we are so honored to get to contribute to that.
Thank you guys very much.
Thank you.
My question is, do you have a favorite special move you like to do in Street Fighter?
Spinning bird kick. Classic. And updated too at the same time.
Oh my gosh. But you have to spam, right? You have to.
Listen, they have a new command for that too.
They do.
I think
do.
so.
You don't have to memorize.
Right,
it.
exactly.
Just push this one button. That's yeah. Obviously, the good old classic Hadouken. You know, it never gets tired. You know, I even said Tatsumaki Senbukyak. As fast as I did, they still sped it up on Street Fighter 4.
Oh my
it sounds
gosh.
sped up.
Wow, that's a mouthful.
And what's a pound cake? You know, it's like, what did they say? It's like,
wow.
But yeah, it's very interesting to see that, okay, Hadouken means fireball. They could have easily just changed the name to Fireball or, you know, Hurricane Kick, Tatsumaki Senbukya, you know, or Sure You Can, which always to me sounds like, sure you can.
Yeah, it totally does.
Can I borrow $5? Sure you can. Or Hadouken sounds like someone really derpy voice, like Hadouken. Oh, hello to you. Oh, hello, everybody. Hello. So, yeah, they're all fun, honestly.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you. Yay. Any more questions? Is that it?
We are pretty much at the
done?
end of our time, I'm afraid.
Oh, no.
But thank you so much, both of you, once again, for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you all
Thank you, guys.
for coming. Give a big round of applause to Kyle, Jenny. Thank you so much. You guys, are you headed back downstairs
We
for
are heading
more
back
signings?
downstairs
and-
for our tables.
Right on. So they'll be available. If you got other questions, you can check them out at their tables. They'll be available to sign. Again,